Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story that's deeply personal to me. A story about taking a path less traveled and finding my own way. It's the story of how I went from being a college dropout to building my own business from the ground up. My journey didn't start in a boardroom or with a fancy degree. It started in a small room filled with more doubt than certainty. I remember the day I decided to leave college. It was one of the scariest decisions of my life. Everyone around me had a plan, a clear path laid out for them. And here I was, stepping off that path into the complete unknown. I wasn't dropping out because I was lazy or didn't value education. Far from it. I just felt that the traditional system wasn't feeding the fire inside me. I had a thirst for practical knowledge, for real-world skills that I felt I wasn't getting in the lecture hall. People said I was making a huge mistake, that I was throwing my future away. And for a while, I almost believed them. The first few months were tough. The freedom I thought I wanted felt more like a terrifying void. I had no structure, no deadlines, and no one telling me what to do. It was just me and my laptop. That's when I realized that if I wanted to succeed, I had to become my own teacher. My bedroom became my university. The internet became my library. I spent countless hours, often late into the night, devouring everything I could. I watched tutorials, read articles, took online courses on coding, digital marketing, graphic design, and business management. I wasn't just passively consuming information, I was actively applying it. I'd learn a new coding concept in the morning and spend the afternoon building a small project with it. I'd read about a marketing strategy and immediately try to implement it on a tiny, experimental social media page I created. This process of self-study was intense. It required a level of discipline I never knew I had. There was no professor to hold me accountable, no classmates to study with. It was a lonely road. There were so many moments of frustration, moments where I hit a wall and felt like giving up. I remember staring at lines of code for hours, trying to fix a single bug, feeling completely overwhelmed. But every time I solved a problem, every time I successfully built something, no matter how small, it was an incredible rush. That feeling became my motivation. I was learning by doing, and with each small victory, my confidence grew. I was proving to myself that I could do this. After about a year of this intense self-education, I started doing small freelance projects. My first client paid me just enough to cover my coffee for a week. But it wasn't about the money. It was validation. It meant someone was willing to pay for the skills I had taught myself. That first project led to another, and then another. I built websites for local businesses, managed social media accounts, and designed logos. I treated every single project, no matter how small, as if it were the most important job in the world. I was building not just a portfolio, but a reputation for being reliable and delivering quality work. This phase was crucial. It taught me how to communicate with clients, manage deadlines, and handle the financial side of being self-employed. It was my real-world MBA. As my client base grew, I started to notice a recurring problem, a gap in the market that my unique combination of skills could fill. An idea started to form in my mind. It was a spark at first, but with every new project and every conversation with a client, that spark grew brighter. This wasn't just an idea for another freelance gig. It was an idea for a scalable business. The thought was exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. Was I ready to go from freelancer to founder? Taking that leap was even scarier than dropping out of college. I used the money I had saved from my freelance work as my initial seed funding. There were no investors, no more safety net. It was all on me. The first year of running my business was a blur of 18-hour days. I was the CEO, the marketer, the developer, the customer support agent, and the janitor. I did everything. I made so many mistakes. I launched features nobody wanted. I misjudged my marketing budget, and I nearly burned out more times than I can count. There was a particular moment, about 6 months in, where I was on the verge of giving up. My savings were dwindling. A major project had just fallen through, and the weight of it all was crushing. I sat in my office, which was still just my bedroom, and seriously considered just quitting and getting a normal job. But then I looked at the wall where I had pinned my initial sketches and business plans. I remembered the excitement I felt, the conviction that I was building something that could genuinely help people. I remembered the all-nighters fueled by passion, not just coffee. I decided to give it one more push. I took a step back, reevaluated my strategy, listened more closely to my early customers, and pivoted my approach. Slowly, painstakingly, things started to turn around. We got our first real paying customer who wasn't a friend or family member. I remember that moment so clearly. It was the best feeling in the world. Then we got another and another. Word started to spread. What began as a one-person operation in a bedroom has now grown into a small, dedicated team. We have a real office now, and we're serving customers around the world. The journey is far from over, and the challenges are still very real. But when I look back, I wouldn't change a thing. So why am I telling you all this? Because I want you to know that the conventional path isn't the only path. Your journey is your own. Education is incredibly important, but it doesn't always have to come with a formal certificate. The most valuable learning comes from curiosity, discipline, and the courage to apply what you know. If you feel like you're on the wrong path, it's okay to step off and forge your own. It will be hard, it will be lonely, and you will doubt yourself. But if you have a passion that keeps you up at night, a thirst for knowledge that can't be quenched in a classroom, then trust that instinct. Become your own greatest teacher, your own biggest cheerleader, and build the future you envision for yourself, one self-taught skill at a time. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it brought you some value or inspiration. If it did, I'd be so grateful if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what you're passionate about learning right now. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning and keep building.